I'm Tarleen Saroya. I'm 19 years old. I'm Tarnpreet Saroya. I'm 19 years old. And we're the Saroya sisters. We started wrestling when we were 9 years old. My dad wrestled when he back home in India, and he wanted to put my brother into the sport, but he saw that we had the potential to go in it too, and we were more eager than my brother to join. Yeah. So he put us in. We would at home, sometimes we'd fight a lot, just like that. So he was like, I'll put you guys with him. Yeah, we grew up on a farm, so there was ropes and monkey bars kind of. So we just wake up and climb the rope and be on the monkey bars. Yeah. The first time we went to wrestling practice was back in 2013, and we didn't have wrestling shoes. We didn't even know what to wear. We didn't even know anything about wrestling. We just showed up after swimming practice in our PJs. The coach provided us shoes, and we just went along with the practice, but we were better than some of the kids that had been doing it for a few years. Yeah. Our very first practice, we learned a move called the Nelson that soon became our infamous move. And the first time she did it on me, I started crying because I had never felt that type of pain before. I didn't know what wrestling was, and when she did that wrestling move on me, that was the most pain I felt in my life. But we got used to the pain, and then we became more gritty, I'd say. When we were doing wrestling, we weren't lifting any weights. My dad would just make us do push-ups all day. For example, we got in trouble, I don't know, we didn't do a chore, he'd tell us to go do push-ups. Or we woke up, he's go do push-ups. He was just always telling us to go do push-ups. So yeah, we just did a lot of push-ups. The first thing he would ask every time he entered the door is, did you guys do your push-ups? And if we didn't do our push-ups, we'd have to do more push-ups. It was a minimum of 100 push-ups every single day. I was yeah. That was I would say mostly what we would do when we were younger, just a bunch of push-ups. And then we started incorporating pull-ups, dips. But at wrestling practices, we do a lot of body weight exercises that the coaches would tell us, but not really any weightlifting. We found LPS through our coach, Coach Neil. He knew Coach Clance prior, and he never wanted us to lift weights until the summer of grade 8, because he wanted us to get our technique down before we could get that muscle and put it all together. So before then, he never let us even look at weights. So the first time we ever came to LPS, my dad is he's just like Coach Clance. He's super strict on being on time. And he knew that it was in North York and we lived pretty far. So he estimated the time wrong, and we ended up coming to the gym before Coach Clance. And we were I think half an hour early. And Coach Clance, we'd never been introduced. So he just let us in, and we're sitting in his office for half an hour till the rest of the crew showed up. And then we did a group workout, and I remember doing a lot of muscle snatches and back squats, and I was really sore, and I had never felt that type of pain in my traps. I think Coach Clance allowed some kids from that organization to come work out here at LPS, and we were just doing a group session, and then at the end we did strongman. What made me want to stay at LPS? I think about this often. I don't think there's another gym or any sort of strength and conditioning place that offers what LPS offers. To put it, just say how it is I feel we're miles ahead of what all the other strength and conditioning gyms are doing. The strength I got here, on that wall it says steroid-like effects. Sometimes I'm just in my wrestling room training, doing the warm-up, and I'll go and do a front handspring, and I could feel my spring. I know it's from all those clean and snatches and my spring from my squat. I would say the reason we stayed is because when you walk in, you could just feel the environment's different here. There's a different atmosphere. The way everyone interacts with each other, they props each other. The coaches all have a wide base of knowledge, and they're all very kind and helpful. Before, what made me want to quit was just how difficult wrestling can be. I feel wrestling, the sport in itself, is one of the most grueling sports out there, because it's so demanding physically, mentally, emotionally. There was a point where I would let my external environment affect me on the mat, to the point where mentally I just was never there. and I would be like getting beat up and losing to girls who I should be like running circles around. And that just really messed with me. I was like, I needed like, I luckily had time off because of COVID, but I was able to come around that. Sometimes I would say I still kind of like think about it. Like I haven't faced those girls again after that, but I'm going to. I went up a weight class just to kind of like compete with them again. And I'm looking forward to it. Yeah. I would say after COVID, like taking so much time off, like a lot of our competitors didn't. And like it really showed like when we stepped back onto the mats and like we were like a lot behind. Like before COVID, like we were a lot ahead and like there was just no competition kind of between us. And like when we came back, we were just getting like smashed like left and right. And like it was just like a bruise to our egos and like we're not where we were. And like we had to put in a lot of work to like just even like get back or start competing with those girls. And because of how like tough that was, like mentally and like physically, like we were working out like multiple times a day. Like it got tough, so you like wanted to quit, but at the end like we were able to face off again. And like having that feeling of like I worked so hard for this and like I'm gonna keep pushing, and I did win. That's what like kept me going. I feel like I don't really focus like too much on my competitors. I focus more on like improving myself. And like only when I'm like in the practice room and I see like she's like not like she's competing with me, then I'll compete with her. But I'm more focusing on myself. I'm like trying to improve myself. I think on those down days when you're just not giving it your all, or you're just not feeling it that day, and I look over and she is, and even sometimes my coach will say like, "What's going on with you?" And you know she's doing this. What are you doing? Then I have to pick it up. Because it's just like a reflection in the mirror. It's like, this is what I could be doing. It's a clear representation of what I could be doing. So you got to get there. I love all the coaches here at LPS. I think they're all like, I have a different relationship with all of them. But it's like, if one of them were gone from the pack like wouldn't feel the same. For Coach Clance, I would say anytime he's at the gym, I always make my maxes. I was telling him like the other day, I feel like he's like my good luck charm or something. Because when he's in the gym, it's very rare that I miss a max. And then just like the coaches that we see on a regular like day-to-day basis, like Coach Menta, Coach Mo, like I feel like they bring the energy and they make me really look forward to coming to practice. And every day, like they push me. Mm-hmm. And yeah, and same with Coach Matt. He's a bit crazy sometimes. He pushes you. I really appreciate like what all the coaches do for us. Like I feel like when we let them know like, hey, we got a competition coming up, they all like put in the effort and like help us get prepared for our competition, and they're always pushing us really hard. I think sometimes how me and my sister operate we're really like black or white. Like when we get in that gray area, we start to feel really guilty. So we're like, we just want it or we don't. And I remember in grade 10 is when we would like, in grade 9 we didn't really have friends. And then in grade 10, we made a lot of friends, and we noticed how it would like hinder our performances just a bit. So they were like, we don't need friends. We're each other's friends. So I'm like, people sometimes look at us crazy, like you guys don't have friends, but you don't need a friend when you have like a twin sister and even like all my other siblings. I feel like that was like one of the sacrifices that we made is like, I was saying like, I can't be distracted with friends. Another sacrifice is like religiously we're not supposed to be like eating meat and like any sort of like animal products, like so milk or like eggs. Milk is okay, but not eggs or fish. But we noticed that when we did go vegetarian for a while, it hindered our performance as well. So we became like avid meat eaters, like obsessed with red meat, white meat. Like if my mom made pasta for dinner and there was like ground beef on the side, we're like, no mom, like there can't be any pasta, just the ground beef. Like every night for dinner it's like just meat. We just want meat, mom. I feel like we kind of sacrifice like, I guess being normal. Like sometimes like we get made fun of, like, oh, you look like a man, like, and we have to like sacrifice, like, even sometimes my mom thinks like, you guys look way too muscular, like I want you guys to look pretty, like she feels like that sometimes. And like I feel we also sacrificed, yeah, like our time. Like we're always putting in the work. I feel like, yeah, especially even what we eat. Like you want to be going out with the family or with your friends, but you can't. Like you got practice the next day. You got to get to bed. You got to shower and go right to sleep. Yeah, I think for us though, like it doesn't feel like a sacrifice at this point. Like this just feels like this is my life. This is what I'm meant for. This is my journey and my path. And it feels like to anybody else it would seem like a sacrifice because it's not considered the normal. But for us, I feel like at this point it feels less like a sacrifice and it feels like this is just what I need to do to be and become who I want to be. I think that when we're on the platforms, I feel a little weird when no one's on the platform doing something. Because whenever we get on the platforms, it's me and her and we're together. It's one after the other. Like, I know volume days you're supposed to push the pace, but even sometimes you have to tell us like on match days, like guys, slow down just a bit. Like it's like one after the other. And I feel like that is the only way that I know. Because I feel weird if no one's on the platform doing something. And I think that helps me because like that kind of conditioning that it builds, it translates to wrestling. Like when you're in a match and you know you're mentally fatigued, that's what kind of helps you in the match push through that. For me, like wrestling matches aren't won like in the actual wrestling match, they're won in your preparation. So like you gotta be, if you want to be the champion, you gotta be doing everything like the champion. You gotta be sleeping like a champion, eating like a champion, tying your laces like a champion. So like even like when I walk into the gym, like I'm like I go straight face. Like even my brother sometimes tells me like, you're looking mean, like you don't have a smile on your face. So like, I don't like, even if I do look like that, I don't really mind. Like that helps me like prepare and like dominate the weights and like get prepared for my matches, get prepared for the tournament. I feel like everything up until this point has like really prepared us. I feel like a lot of the core values our parents have instilled in us and like what we've learned on the mats, what we've learned here at LPS, I feel we'll be like really successful like when we get there. And I know like we'll face challenges, but yeah, I feel we'll get through them and they'll just make us stronger. I think with wrestling teaches you so many like life lessons. So my aspirations for when I'm done wrestling are to just be like a badass entrepreneur. I want to own my own business. I don't want to work for anyone. I want to set a standard. You know, like the standard is the standard. In terms of wrestling, I want to be a multiple-time world champion at the 68 kilogram division. And that's like the Olympic weight class too. So before I retired, I want to go for the 2 runs at the Olympics. And I want to not only like place a medal at them, I want that gold medal. For me, I want to become a multiple-time world champion, multiple-time Pan Am champion, and a multiple-time Olympic champion. My accomplishments thus far are I'm a 2023 offset champion at the weight 65 kilos. I also placed third at the Nationals in 2022 at 65 kilos. I'm a 2023 offset champion at 61 kilos and a 2023 bronze medalist at the national championships at 62 kilos. So we recently just got a full ride and an additional $1,000 each offered to go down to Oregon at the college, Umpqua Community College for 2 years. My feelings towards it are very mixed. Some days I'm like very excited, like yes, I got a fresh new start, fresh feeling, like I'm gonna go out there, new coaches, bunch of new drilling partners. I'm feeling good. And then other days I'm like, I don't know how to cook. I don't clean my room. I'm like freaking out. I'm like, my mom's not gonna be there. And I'm like just thinking in my bed, just late at night, and I can't fall asleep. I'm like, what am I gonna do out there? But I think what always kind of helps me is I'm always gonna have God and my twin sister out there with me. It's like whenever I'm gonna be facing any sort of challenge, I know I'll have God and basically I'll have my twin sister too. I think my younger self, like I really respect my younger self because some days I feel like she put in more work than I sometimes feel like I am putting in now. Just in terms of like mentally. Physically, I think we're both doing okay, but mentally, I feel like she gives zero, you know, like nothing could phase her. But now I feel like, you know, as you grow older, you let some things get to you. You get your own insecurities, and I think she would be telling me right now, screw everybody, you know? Like, you don't need to feel any sort of way about anything. Like, you know what you have to do, go do it. Don't let the other background noise distract you. Advice I would give my younger self would be to have like unwavering faith in God, because that's what's gonna get you there. Like, you just gotta keep your head down, put in the work. You don't gotta really like listen to what others are saying, because they don't know who you are, what your goals are. You know what your goals are, and you just gotta put in the work.